This one's going to be a little bit different, a little bit interesting, and glad it's a little bit on the later night side because there are some cards in this set which are a little bit how should I put this? They're not cute and cuddly. The Borg rarely are. They tend to be a little bit ugly and can be a bit mean in some senses. So
Nobody's here yet. It'll take a bit for people
No,
to get
yeah, it usually does. In any case, a little background on the Borg and the set we're looking at. We've got a booster box of the Borg. Now this is two sets that heavily feature the Borg affiliation. It also introduced the Vidians because this came as part of the latter property they brought in. Voyager had come out. We're going to save this one for our wrap-up for these different sets openings that I'm doing because I've never opened this before, and it is a little bit more expensive than any of the other boxes we've opened so far. It's not super expensive. It's still actually probably the closest to what it would have been as MSRP of any of these sets we've looked at. A lot of the other sets, I've seen boxes kicking around for Holodeck Adventures. I've seen a box recently for Blaze of Glory available for sale, but those ones cost hundreds of dollars or up to or over $1,000 Canadian, and I'm just not willing to put that much money into this series at this time. So once we finish the Voyager, we may revisit Star Trek from time to time. It's a game I like. We might do some gameplay. I do have a little bit more sealed product, but it's stuff we've already covered. Go back to some of the sets that I like the most and think are the best value perhaps at some point, such as Premiere. I think is a good place to get started. Trouble with Tribbles is a great set too, if you like the original series especially. So, but this is not the set that introduced the Borg. This is a set arguably that was refining the Borg as an affiliation. The Borg were introduced in the fourth set for Star Trek that was released, which was First Contact, based on the movie that came out, the second of the Next Generation movies.
Hello, Sketchy. How are you?
The first Borg deck I built was entirely from the First Contact expansion, plus the enhanced First Contact decks that came out a couple years later. There were some bonus cards that were available there. So I'll go through that. And a lot of the cards for this were reprinted with different art. Instead of art from the film, it was art from the Voyager series. Some of them were also reworked, so they actually do slightly different things, or different versions were made. We'll see some of that as well. But I'll just go through my Borg deck as an introduction to where the Borg were in the game before Voyager released. Let's just adjust this quickly. So here's my Borg deck. It's a bit of a beastie. It's very out of date because, like I said, I made it a long time ago. What's unfortunate?
One of Sketchy's friends broke.
Oh, yes, that is unfortunate. So you had the Borg Outpost. At the time this came out, First Contact, seed one if playing the Borg, or build that later at a location where Borg engineer present. Download Transport Network Gateway. And it's Delta Quadrant. There were no Delta Quadrant sites yet. So you just had your outpost floating off in the middle of nowhere, and you could download a Transport Network Gateway, which gave you an opportunity to travel to other places, but you still had to set up the other side of the gateway, and actually it took some time to get your ships into the main space line and deal with things. So alternate universe door is pretty standard. Here's the Transport Network Gateway. Seed one during your outpost phase on any space line end, or play on any space line location where you have a Delta Quadrant. I think that's the symbol. No, wait a minute. Which symbol is that? No, that's the one of the icons. That's, sorry, shadow was blocking the color for me. That's a green icon Borg. Any player may play Transwarp Conduit or another copy of this stowaway to move any or all of that player's ships from this transwarp network gateway to another, or downloads a conduit. So these are your main way of getting from quadrant to quadrant with the Borg. At least they were in First Contact.
All right, I've got that.
You had objectives. So seed or play on table. This is the one I start with. It's again a hidden one to begin with until you reveal it. See, target a space mission with a point box, if not yet scouted. Your Borg may scout that location. If you have a Borg there, you may probe. And if you hit a blue or green icon, sector clear, place on location, download here one Transwarp Network Gateway, and may download a new objective card to replace this one. You get 25 points for setting up your gateway and making it so you guys can get over there. You got another one.
I don't know where everybody is.
Salvage Starship. Here's a target a space mission with a points box where an opponent's ship was destroyed, or Wolf 359. If not yet scouted, your Borg ship may scout that location. If you have Borg there, you may probe, and for a green or red Borg icon, you may place on target. You may search opponent's discard pile for one ship to place underneath objective. It's special equipment. Add its special equipment to all your ships. So if you salvage a ship with a cloaking device, oh look, my Borg cubes can now cloak. Well, that's handy. So there you go. Then some classic Silver Border Crisis and Rogue Borg Mercenary, just to gum things up. We're getting now into the stuff that I would have in a Q's tent. I pulled the Q's tent for other things, but now I've got some extras. I should put it back. Other gateway, other things I can download. Adapt cards. There's a drone that can download adapt. So, plays and remains on a phaser or disruptor just used to stun or mortally wound one of your blue Borg. Your Borg are immune to all weapons with that exact card title. And negate obstructions nullifies a dilemma card except Q-related card just encountered by your blue Borg if your Borg encounter that dilemma or a copy on a previous turn. So if you had something that stopped you previously, and it's not going to stop you this time, wormhole's an alternate way to get around. There's the transwarp conduit, which can move you through the network gateways. Different objective, eliminate starship. You got an opponent with a troublesome ship that's causing you grief. Target opponent's ship, your Borg may battle that ship. And the cubes are tougher than most average ships. If they destroy it in battle, immediately probe. And you can either have wreckage, you may download salvage starship, or energy distortion, you may download temporal rift, or collateral damage. One other opposing ship present is damaged. Random selection. Change of plans lets you swap out your objective.
I don't know if you should
He'll make an extra drone because they're about assimilating people. And then an extra security drone that gives plus strength if you're dealing with a lot of personnel battles. I threw one of them in as well. For my space locations, I used a lot of this generic space location because it doesn't have points or a mission to solve. It basically just puts less things on the board that my opponent might be able to steal on me. So I just use the generic space locations to gum things up. There's Wolf 359. Wow, that's quite the title. Welcome. But yeah, Wolf 359 is referenced by the salvage starship, gives me always a location that I can use that on. There's a couple of missions that I need big point boxes on, and this one I figured would be, while it can be attempted by 3 other groups, 1 VIP from each of 3 affiliations plus 1 non-aligned VIP is pretty tough to beat. You've got playing a lot of variety of stuff. Most people stick to 1 affiliation. Sometimes 2, but rarely are you going to see someone with that many available. More generic space. Earth. Now, I don't think I have Assimilate Homeworld in this deck. I never had a copy. But that's something that the Borg sometimes would try to do. So, this didn't strike me as an easiest mission to beat. It's something that could be used for other things. And, hey, if people think that might be my strategy, it might throw them off. And I've also got in here for my locations Bajor. So there's 2 possible targets for Assimilate Homeworld if I were going that route. A couple of artifacts. Retrieving artifacts is tricky with the Borg, but this one buffs your power if personnel battles are a thing again. This one could win me the game. The Rishkin Flute immediately plays on table. X varies constantly, where X equals 5 points for each of your music personnel present in play. Destroy with the devil. So, one of the tricks the Borg can do is share abilities. If you can find a way to share music amongst all your Borg drones, and you've got the Rishkin Flute, this can cause you huge point swings. And just we knew the game by the Borg gathering together a huge band. It's amusing and can be quite effective. Then I've got a selection of dilemmas. I included some that are on theme, some that are just what I had. There's the Borg servo. Here's
One of those pens over there, sorry.
yeah, don't call me Ahab. Anyway, sorry, what?
Pass me the blue pen.
The blue pen.
Thank you.
There we go. Balancing act. This was a key one at the time. I think they might have changed the rules, or maybe the rules committee did afterwards. And I don't see why. I found this did the effect just as well. Each player whose missions with point boxes are mostly space or mostly planets by a difference of 3 or more loses 50 points. Now it's a 100-point game. So all of a sudden, being down 50 points, that's a significant hole to dig yourself out of if you weren't balancing your space and planet missions. This is a solid mission just for anywhere. Basically, whatever mission you put it on can't be one of the first ones they beat. So, again, a Borg themey dilemma. Some other ones I threw in. This one is just fun. From the motion pictures, which is, again, a set that came later and was a little bit harder to find. But unless transporter skill aboard your ship or facility here beams up entire away team, and 1 personnel present, opponent's choice is captured. Discard dilemma. Blended skins. So now we're into ships. Now here's the Queen's Borg Cube. 9, 24, 24, and +3 weapons and shields at Earth. Your Borg personnel and equipment may report aboard. All the cubes have that. Your Borg can report to your cubes, so it doesn't have to report to your outpost. Once you get a cube into the Alpha Quadrant, well, you're good to just keep bringing your Borg straight to the cube. Here's the generic one. This is an uncommon. This was a rare because it was a specific Borg cube. Yeah, tractor beam. Basically the same. The generic ones. They're worth 45 points if your opponents can hunt them down and blow them up. So it's good to have some drones that buff your weapons and shields and some options for combat if you run into a fleet deck that might try and capitalize on that. But to be honest, it didn't happen very often just because cubes are significantly tougher than most other ships. If other ships have a 10 as one of their stats, they're doing well. 24 is pretty steep. And I kept a few because I wanted to make sure I got them. They're also great for probing because they've got all 3 of the different colored icons for the Borg on them. I've included a Borg scout vessel, may report with crew to a transwarp network gateway at any space line end. Download doorway if necessary. So yeah, you can go and use this to get access to the Alpha Quadrant. If they blow it up, it's tiny, but if they blow it up, it's only worth 5 points. You only need a green drone to pilot it. So this would be one of my handy ways to establish a link. The Borg Queen, key personnel for the affiliation. They made another version of her in the Borg, I know, and I know they tweaked her abilities a little bit. But again, she's got all 3 icons. Her stats are above a regular Borg, especially on cunning. While reported, selects any skill. May change skill at the start of each turn. So this is one way you could give all your Borg music. If you've got the interlinked drone that lets them all share skills, and she can pick music, well, there you go. May download a change of plans or a Borg drone in place of a card draw. So at the end of your turn, you don't want to draw, you can just go download whatever drone you think will be most useful. Very handy. I ran 2 copies because that's all I could get my hands on, but it's the Borg Queen. Very useful. The little star is different. You can only have 1 per hive, basically. So basically it's unique, but it's not technically unique. It's very subtle when that actually comes up. This is one of the ones that came from Enhanced First Contact. You could get Gowron of Borg, so a simulated counterpart like they did with Picard for Locutus, except this way in the alternate timeline they captured Gowron. So he's got, VIP leadership is hard for Borg to get, so is diplomacy. And once per turn, allows his hive to initiate battle. The Borg usually can't just go and initiate battle. There was that objective, eliminate starship, you could use to attack a specific ship. Gowron here just lets you, once per game, pick a fight where you want. Very nice. And while on your ship, weapons and shields +4 against Klingons. He knows their weaknesses and tactics quite well. So there you go. I also have the Tomlock of Borg. His special ability, and again, officer diplomacy leadership, is for the rest of the game, your ships have cloaking device. So you can cloak your Borg cubes for extra tactics. Here's the guy who lets you may download any one adapt card in place of 1 card draw. Let's put some of these drones aside. Here's the interlink drone. Allows all Borg in this hive present with a blue Borg to share skills. Each such Borg has every shared skill at its highest level. So that just means if someone has, engineer ×2, for example, then they would share engineer ×2 to everybody. Welcome, the Det Boys. Yeah, so this is one of the drones. I'm going to take a look and see if they've changed how some of these drones work. So I'm going to keep a little pile. This is another one I found very useful just because biology, medical, sometimes that comes up quite a bit. And once every turn where present, may reabsorb, place beneath draw deck, another of your Borg just killed. So if your guy dies, you can keep him around. 2 of 17. Your Borg present with any blue Borg in this hive may add their cunning to a total wherever there is another blue Borg in the same hive. And he's got anthropology, sometimes useful skill. May steal unattended equipment cards present. May download 1 Borg equipment card in place of a card draw. That rarely comes up, but sometimes it's useful. Here's another sort of key one. Medical, again. Computer skill, and while on your ship, shields are +2 and cumulative. So if you've got a bunch of copies of this guy, you can really tank up your shields.
You thinking you might do a giveaway with any of the extras from the Borg box?
That's a good question. I was thinking of it, and then I forgot to double check what I've got. I know I've got a bunch of the I've got some of the Borg stuff available.
Well, we could.
That I've already got, so that
we
could
could
be
pick a winner, and whoever wins can just have a surprise.
Perhaps
pack
I could put together a surprise pack of Borg stuff. Perhaps. When on your ship during battle, that ship may use its total weapons against X targets, where X is the number of red drones. So if you do get that one battle with Gowron, and you've got this guy, you can attack multiple ships instead of just the usual one. Here's that security one that gives strength. I've got a copy in the Q's tent. Here's one that adds what to weapons for your ship. This guy, where present, allows your transporters to beam through opponents' shields. Very handy. Engineer transporter skill. Astrophysics navigation. Once each turn, if on your ship, may force one opponent's ship at same location to decloak. If your opponent's being troublesome with cloaking devices. Stellar cartography, whenever one of your ships downloads when on your ship, may download transwarp doorway or interrupt in place of a draw card. So again, another way to get your doorways out. Not sure if that one was one of the key ones. It's been a while. Science drone. When on your ship, may download an alternate universe doorway in place of a draw step. If your opponent managed to close my alternate universe doorway, I forget if I carried a spare, but this would let me potentially get that back going again. May acquire artifacts if on a same planet or aboard a ship as out at the same space location. So this guy's necessary if I want to get that Rishkin flute. I need him to be able to claim artifacts, basically. And this guy adds to range, very handy. And then again, I've just got a selection of interrupts. Awaken, very handy as an interrupt. Downloads a blue or green drone or plays at the start of a battle to download to one of your ships at that location 1 red drone, 2 if opponent initiates the battle. So if my opponent is bold enough to attack me, I can go get 2 red drones, and they're the ones that add to the stats of a ship or to the strength of my Borg, and just plunk them down. Extra people to boost my people, and yeah, handy deterrent. This is probably one of the more useful events. Downloads 1 blue Borg drone, 1 green Borg drone, and 1 red Borg drone. Discard event and draw no cards this turn. So you're giving up your card draw, but you're going to get 3 drones to replace it of your choice, 1 of each color. And again, if you hit this while probing, it has all 3 Borg drone icons. So useful in that way as well.
The picture seems fine when I'm looking at like when you're doing it, but the words.
This is another one from the enhanced. You can see the little promo symbol there. Downloads 2 red drones, discard event, or plays on table. Each turn, report 1 of your Borg cards for free, or make an additional end of turn draw. I mean, to Kevin Uxbridge. So basically, this gives you extra play or an extra draw. Your choice each turn. So every 2 turns on average, you're going to end up with an extra card drawed and played. Very handy card. Assimilate counterpart. Kind of niche use, but some extra objectives in here. Establish gateway again. Assimilate planets. This is one of my go-tos. Just, yeah. So it needs to be a planet with a box showing at least 35 points. That's one of the conditions of it. That's why my missions for planet missions, I was looking for high point boxes and not easy for my opponent to steal in one way or another. And then I've got some extra gateways. These 2 are not part of the deck. I just put them with the deck because I picked them up later when I was opening up Trouble with Tribbles. I got 3rd of 5. This is the Borg drone that eventually becomes Hugh. And that's why it can download Hugh. And he gives a bonus to your scout vessels. And Locutus came in the Fajo collection. And so he's the one with a bonus against Federation. And he's just a skill monster with music even. Look at that. So, yeah. Great potential addition to the deck as well. I just haven't worked them in. But that's my Borg deck. And I'll throw out one of the sub-commands. Why not? Assimilate planet, establish gateway. Some of these common missions and cards that I use. And I want to see if I can spot changes, because I know they reprinted a bunch of them. Here's the outpost too. And take a close look and see how many of them they actually changed what the card does, and how many of them are just reprints straight up, but with different art, basically, from the different series. Absolutely. Here you go. So there's a quick overview of the Borg, and I'm just going to set these off to the side so that when any of these cards turn up, I can do a quick comparison and find out some key drones from each color. what they've changed. All right. Keep those handy. Like I said, I'll be saving the Voyager one for our next opening. And that'll be interesting because that's going to be all new to me. I have opened some of this before. Things I'm hoping to get. Oh yeah, there's the box number. I've never opened the Mythic, not Mythic, Ultra Rare from this set. I believe it's Lieutenant Barclay. That is, I think, the highest value card in the set. It's worth almost as much as you pay for a box. There's also a couple of ships in here which are dual affiliation ships, which are worth a fair chunk as well. And I would love to get the Prometheus especially for my Romulan deck. And they're worth a lot, in part because they're good ships, but also because they are dual affiliation cards. So they were printed as, a rare or a rare plus. I think they're both rare pluses for the two big ones in this. And they were printed in two forms. But with each form, only half the print runs. So each version is basically double the rarity of what it would be. So if you're trying to complete a set and you wanted to have the Romulan version and the Federation version of the Prometheus, each one is going to be harder to find. So on top of it being a good ship, it's also rarer to find a specific form.
Are you going to leave those like that, or are you going to put them to the side?
Well, I thought I did put these to the side, but I can move them a little further to the side, try and make myself a little bit more room here.
There you go.
So here's the insert rules supplement. New rules. New affiliation. The Herogen are introduced here.
If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We love to interact with everyone.
Borg nanoprobes, capturing, downloading. There's that Enigma icon. Equinox Doctor and Artificial Intelligence. There's the rules expansion for the Borg. I think it's mostly recap, but there may have been a few tweaks. Subcommand icons. Borg affiliation ships. Cooperation. The Borg do not mix with cards of other affiliations. You can't use with non-aligned or anything. A player using Borg affiliation cards may not stock any non-Borg personnel, ships, or facilities in their deck. A card bearing the Borg use only Borg icon in its title bar cannot be stocked in your deck and used when playing. Can only be used when playing the Borg affiliation. Current objective, you gotta stick to an objective unless you can specifically beat it or swap it. Scoring points, Borg away team restrictions, Borg battle restrictions. Your Borg may not initiate battle except when counter-attacking or when allowed or required by your current objective or another card, such as Gowron. Other Borg restrictions, Borg do not commandeer, they assimilate instead, and do not use hand weapons for any purpose. They don't really need them. You got a deduction, you got assimilation, and you got a handy little checklist there at the back, along with more columns of rules. Oh, so this is when you assimilate somebody, depending which staffing icon they had, would be which color drone they become. Opponent assimilation, scouting. Yeah, a lot of Borg stuff. Borg are probably the most complicated affiliation to play, just because they have their own set of rules and own way of doing things. So, let's get cracking, I suppose.
Sorry, what's the card that you're looking for the most?
The one card, if I had to pick one, is I would love to get my hands on the Prometheus for my Romulan deck. It's got a whopping 10 range and great stats, and it is dual affiliation, so the Federation could use it too. So it's a very strong ship. The ultra rare Barclay from Voyager, his guest appearance there, would be great to pull too. One thing we didn't get last time I opened any of this was some of the Maquis characters, so that'd be cool to see too. But yeah, any of the dual affiliation cards would be very pleasant to see because they tend to be more valuable due to the having both affiliations makes them extra rare each version basically. Should put a little note on the description once we get this up saying, hey,
I can do it now.
the actual pack cracking starts at the half-hour mark.
Yeah, I can do that. In case you want to skip the preamble.
Yeah, I guess.
I can do that now.
About actually. The Borg is the first half hour, and then okay, so we got 2 of 12. Xenology drone, archaeology, anthropology, exobiology if present, while probing for assimilate planet. Once each turn, you may discard your probe card to probe again. I don't remember this effect on any of my previous drones, so that guy's new. Morak, uncommon. Science, transporter skill, astrophysics, physics. If on IKC Voklang, it is all attributes +1. Nice little buff. Tactical officer on the Voklang. Devout believer in the philosophies of the sacred scrolls. Banded with Tegreth in an attempt to commandeer USS Voyager. So that's an episode that. So here's 9 of 12. Engineer physics navigation if present when probing for established gateway. Once each turn you may discard. Probe again. So I've got guys that download certain objectives, I think. But these are the ones just let you redraw for your probe values. Ooh, there's my rare. 7 of 9 as a Borg. So that's the Borg drone that they captured in Voyager and eventually became a member of the crew. But this is not a dual affiliation or anything. This is just straight up the Borg version of 7 of 9. Engineer, stellar cartography, computer skill, physics. May apply any of the Borg staffing icon colors to staffing. May draw a card in place of your normal card play. So if you don't want to play anything this turn, you can draw instead. And stats are 7s across the board. So that's not a bad pull. I know I have a copy of this card. I'm just not sure if it's from this set or if it was the Reflections box topper. But that's a potential candidate for the giveaway, I would say. Here's Hakran. This is one of the Vidians. Do we have some sleeves handy?
I don't know.
Should probably sleeve the rares anyway.
I think I brought some with me today in case we open something in the city.
Security, Big Star, Anthropology, Exobiology. Typical mentor of fledgling hunters. Stationed at the training facility near the Ovion system. Prepares young Herodians to join the Decaran's hunting group. And again, these are Delta Quadrant personnel. Same thing with all the Borg, or most of the Borg. There might have been an exception or two, but pretty much all the Borg anyway. They have to deploy to the Delta Quadrant. Hi, Ryan. Herodian Disruptor Rifle. Herodian use only. For each of your Herodian present is Strength +4 and Cunning +2, but loses all diplomacy unless aboard your ship. So very powerful rifle, boosting your stats big time. It does have the usual phaser rifle downside of negating diplomacy, but yeah, the Herodian are some tough beans when it comes to combat. high-powered weapon favored by Hirogen hunters, constructed of solid monotanium, over 1 meter in length, equipped with a short-range tactical scanner for tracking prey. They are a hunter race. So here's Kamok. Security computer skill, pretty basic personnel, but again, Delta Quadrant, so a little restricted in his deployment. This was the Vidian researcher, among many who believe a cure for the phage might be found by scrutinizing extinct civilizations who were wiped out by plague. Biology, geology, archaeology. They were a race that was hobbled in that way. Here's an uncommon mission. This can be attempted by the Hirogen, the Vidians, or no, that's the Kazon, not the Vidians, and the Klingons. Uncharted asteroid belt. Stalk and kill wounded member of species 8472. Anthropology, exobiology, leadership, and strength, or Borg nanoprobes.
I guess we're good. I mean, we've had quite a weekend.
It's been quite a week.
Oh my goodness.
Here's another poor phage victim. Engineer, science, stellar cartography. And we've got the Hirogen hunt incident. So they're hunters, and here they go. Seeds or plays on table. Place. In place of a card draw, you may download Rituals of the Hunt, Hirogen Hunt, or any Hirogen ship. Also, once each turn, you may report an Alpha Hirogen, or any Hirogen that names in its lore an Alpha Hirogen you already have in play, for free. Or, plays on your Hirogen ship. Its transporters may be used to beam through shields of any damaged ship here, even if landed. So, helps you get through on board things, helps you get your people out, yeah.
If there's anything you want me to sleeve, just put it over here and I will.
Yeah. We'll just make a stack and continue on for now.
Just put it like here and I'll put.
I don't think there were any tidbits like the Trouble with Tribbles had where you could get multi-rare packs in this. I think they were all pretty straightforward.
Sorry, you didn't give the
the only sets for Star Trek that you could pull foils in were Reflections, had 1 foil per pack of, reprints from previous sets, popular cards. And you also could get foils in Blaze of Glory. But there was only a handful of cards they made foil versions of. So that's why that's one of the more expensive sets to find now. It was a very popular set, even aside from the fact that it had the foils. And for collectors, that was an extra incentive. So here's Established Gateway. So let's compare briefly. It's got the same little sub-icons here. Seeds or plays on table. Target a space mission with a point box. If not yet scouted, your Borg may scout that location. After scouting, you may probe. After scouting, if you have Borg there, you may probe. Okay, so it's just word change. Scouting the location basically means going through and removing any dilemmas that are there to get in the way. So that's just a wording change, I believe. Same to icons. Cleared, place on location, download to Year 1 Transport Network Gateway. If possible, may download 1 objective card. So yeah, same points. It's basically just different art and 1 little wording change, but it amounts to the same thing for gameplay. So, there we go. This is basically just a straight up reprint with a different picture. Good to know. P-Chan. These were some of the Borg drones in one episode that they rescued, and they were having trouble. They couldn't connect to the Borg anyway, I don't believe. It was once assimilated as 4 of 9. Discard at end of turn if Lancer and Marique not in play, so he has to be part of a little group. When reported, may download Lancer and Marique if not in play. Computer skill, honor, medical. So yeah. So it's a non-aligned. You can use with some non-aligned people or as a non-aligned person with Federation or whoever. But that was a storyline dependent thing. We got interrupt, adapt, negate obstruction. That's another one that I ran in my deck. Where did I put that? Did I not grab one? Where is it? There we go. Adapt, negate obstruction. So here we had for flavor text, the first appearance of a hazard can be as dangerous to a Borg drone as to anyone. However, the Borg soon adapt and learn how to nullify it. Here, by 2375, the Borg had encountered and cataloged over 10,000 different species. This vast accumulated knowledge is sufficient to overcome virtually any obstacle. So, nullifies a dilemma card, nullifies a dilemma, and dilemma card, except Q-related card, just encountered by your blue Borg drone. If your Borg encountered that dilemma or a copy on the previous turn. So yeah, again, different art, slight changes in wording, different expansion symbol, obviously, but this is straight up another reprint. And that makes sense. They put a lot of work into designing the Borg mechanics, so they've definitely made some new drones to flush out what they can do, but a lot of these core cards are just straight up reprints. Oh, wow. That was quick.
What?
Here's our ultra rare. We got Reginald Barclay in pack number 2.
Is that the one you wanted?
That is the ultra rare. I've never opened this, and it's
awesome.
It's one of the top 2 or 3 cards I would have hoped to pick. So I want to read it first. But small star engineer, astrophysics, computer skill, honor, and Delta Quadrant Federation missions you solve are +5 points. He is not Delta Quadrant himself, so you got to have him in the Alpha Quadrant. But that is nice little bonus to get extra points for every card you pull in the or every mission you solve in the Delta Quadrant. So I'm very happy to pull that one for sure. Definitely a little more versatile than the Reginald Barclay version from Premiere, who was just basically an engineer mission specialist with, I think, computer skill. So since then, he's added astrophysics honor and the Delta Quadrant interaction. Very nice to see. Let's leave that. So far we're off to a great start on this box. We got 709 and Reginald Barclay. Hirogen Talon. Hirogen use only, reports for free. Each of your personnel present strength +1. We report to... Okay, we got Harkan here.
Ryan says that was the best card.
It is definitely a good one.
You were saying earlier today we were hoping to get it.
Yeah, in all the box openings we've done so far, we've never pulled any of the ultra rares for this series until right now. That was nice, and especially nice is one that I hadn't had before. I would have loved to have pulled the Future Enterprise, you know, another Dr. McCoy or Mirror Universe Spock would be nice too, but Reginald Barclay is certainly up there for a nice one to add to my collection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a Future Enterprise at all, but I do have the other 2 there. The Ferengi Rules of Acquisition doesn't have an ultra rare, and I'm not sure whether Premier does. I've heard somebody say that the rarity on the actual Enterprise card itself might be the equivalent of an ultra rare, but I've never got that confirmed. So yeah, typical mentor of fledgling hunters, stationed at training facility. Yeah, I've already read this one because this guy's come up before. I just got distracted. And this is familiar.
You're just a little excited.
Familiar too. Yeah, we've seen this whole pack before. Other than that, so repeat pack. You get that a fair bit, except for the most important card. So you know, getting a good rare always helps. So that's definitely going into the highlight reel.
I am hoping I hit the right button to make a little video, but if not, we can just do a...
We'll see. 6 of 12. Security. Where present, your Borg are each cunning and strength +1. So that's different from the other stat boosting red drones I've got. because they had strength +2 for red. So this is definitely a different one. But nice to have, I suppose. There we go, 6 of 12. And that can actually be important too, because there are some things which reference whether different stats are even or odd. So with +2 for the other drones, they stay even. They stay odd, rather. This can switch them to even. So that's potentially useful in some niche circumstances. Omega particle lasts 3 turns, decays slowly. Plays on your outpost. Any player may download Omega directives or harness particle 010. When countdown expires, destroy outpost and all ships here. Mission is span +3. So that's interesting. Very destructive, but limited in how you can deploy it. Alright. There's another common. Cranial transceiver implant. So this is an implant card that you could get with the table thing that I had in my potential downloads. Plays on your drone. It is cunning +2 if a blue Borg once each turn may download a Borg objective or discard your current objective. Could be handy. This is the rare. Card number 1 of the set. Ankari Spirits. It's not restricted to the Delta Quadrant. It's just a space dilemma. Unless 3 honor and integrity greater than 35 present place on ship. Now and at the start of each turn kills 2 crew members. Random selection. Cure with 3 engineers and exobiology. So small crews could struggle with this. 3 honor, depending on what you're playing, that might be hard to come by. Most could manage 3 engineers and exobiology to cure it, though, in fairly short order, if they have a fair-sized crew. But that's a rare. So, oops, let's just put my thumb here.
Oh, that's the one that you
Yep. Here's Turangi. He participated in a holographic simulator. So Rash Hunter grudgingly took part in a holodeck scenario from the 20th century in occupation of France. Never grasped the aims in studying Voyager's prey. So he's a big star security. He's treachery ×2, leadership geology to stellar cartography, strength 9. He's a fairly tough little Hirogen for sure. But yeah, let's try and catch that in the future and not show off that picture symbol too much.
Yeah.
Whoop. And here's a hunting vessel. This is the common Hirogen ship, light cruiser.
Can we just put it over here just so we remember what?
Yeah, let's do that. Small ship, usually manned by a hunting pair. Often travels in groups like that which subdued Voyager in 2374. Its monotanium armor scatters enemy targeting scanners. So, weapons, X equals 7 plus the number of your other staffed Hirogen ships here. Is it Hirogen? Am I getting that right? I get mixed up with Voyager. It wasn't the series I watched the most of, so I know there's a bunch of different alien races, and sometimes I get the names mixed up. Anyway, Shields 9 is pretty solid. It is a scout vessel. It's a smaller vessel, so, but can get better. There aren't many Romulans or Klingons in this set, but here's one for sure. Where was the okay? Just a little common engineer with physics. They needed another mission specialist, I guess, for certain things. So a Romulan female who assisted the capture of the USS Prometheus, majored in warp theory at an academy located on a colony world 31 light years from Romulus. Here's another mission. So Klingons, Romulans, the Hirogen, or the what's that one called? Kazon? Yeah, I think the red is the K-zone, and the blue is the Hirogen. Leadership. Plus navigation, plus stellar cartography. You may attempt only if your total weapons is greater than 15 here. So you can see it's a Delta Quadrant location. Dense nebula. Flush out enemy ships hiding amidst the radiation of this anomaly. And here's a Hirogen outpost. Shields 34. Slightly better than your average Federation Klingon or Romulan. Seeds at a Hirogen mission or any space mission with no affiliation icons. Build at such a mission where you have a Hirogen engineer, has a holodeck, or build it in it. And you can download Hirogen Hunt. So, it's got a little bit of bonuses over the standard outposts for other groups. Here's Harkan again. And here's Greth. Big Star Officer, Leadership, Geology, Navigation, Engineer. Kolar's first officer, scorned his reading of the scrolls, defeated in combat by Tom Paris when the Nethret set in. Cured by the Kuval Mag with the Doctor's help. So again, he's one of the Klingons who showed up from that sleeper ship, I think, because he's a Delta Quadrant specific character. So the standard Borg outpost that I showed before has got 48 shields from first contact. I think, again, if we find... Instead of opening these, I think they're easier just to rip open. It's older plastic, so maybe I should just switch strategies and not care about trying to save wrappers. So what's this? 17 of 18. Geology, stellar cartography, science. When on your ship in the Delta Quadrant, it is range +2. So the range boost in green drone I had was range +1. So this is definitely different too. Yeah. That's pretty much all there is to say about that. Distinctiveness humanoid, so they don't even know what alien species it is. Alas, poor drone. This, I think, might have been a reprint, but it's not one I used. Plays on table. Once each turn, you may discard a blue or red drone from hand in order to draw one card, or two if drone was present with your Borg Queen. Maybe not. No, it's Alas, Poor Queen, I think, was the card from First Contact. So this is sort of a swap of it. Interesting. The Borg Queen searched tenaciously for the interlink frequency connecting the errant drones to Unimatrix 0. Analyzing those she had discovered brought her closer to finding them all. Here we have the generic Borg outpost. So again, here's the picture. You can see definitely similar stylistically. They took inspiration from the film. Same shields. Seeds at any space mission with no affiliation icons. So that's a little different. This one just says seeds. One if playing Borg or build later at a location. But it's just Delta Quadrant, so it has to be in the Delta Quadrant. So at this time, there were no space missions in the Delta Quadrant. It's still Delta Quadrant. But now there are missions you can find, so it's seeds at a space location, and it's still Delta Quadrant restricted. And you can still download the Transport Network Gateway. So that's just a change in the text because now there are missions specifically, so you have to show where it's downloading. Whereas this one, you just deployed generally out in the quadrant somewhere, and there was no spaceline location. I guess technically this is the new updated text, so you're not supposed to use the outpost like you used to and just play it out there if you don't have locations to play it on anymore. But that's how I always played the Borg, so I'm gonna have to see if I'm still allowed to do that or not, I suppose. But it probably just depends on your play group and who you're playing with. So here's my rare. This is 3 of 9. So 7 of 9. This is another Borg from that collective. I'm not sure if I've had this one before. Tactical drone, engineer, astrophysics, stellar cartography. Once each turn may place one card from hand beneath draw deck, then draw a card. Okay, so it lets you cycle through and find your stuff more easily. That's pretty good. It's unique. Incident, rituals of the hunt. So this is another Hirogen hunting incident. Plays on your prey, any opponent's personnel. You may return incident to hand at any time. Unique. You know your prey. Your Hirogen who have anthropology add praise printed regular skills. Stock your prey. Your equipment and Hirogen personnel may report aboard your Hirogen ships. Capture your prey. If present with prey, your Hirogen using Hirogen Talon may capture them. Discard incident. So you go get them. Makes deploying a little easier. Oh, come on. Here comes another copy of Turangi. Same guy.
You gotta
Already
go from
talked
the
about
top.
him.
You gotta go from the top
Yeah,
down.
and look for that name.
The name.
Sorry about that. And here's the same ones we've seen before. Hirogen Outpost we've seen before. Yep. Yep.
Oh my goodness. So hey, if we
People used to be a little bit less sensitive about such things. I'll just say that because this was public television. Keep in mind.
yeah,
You know, obviously they were just another set of
it was a symbol.
bad guys.
Yeah, that would represent how bad they were, right?
Yeah, basically.
But we don't want to promote the symbol.
No.
Not because of what it's related to. Actually,
the symbol actually predates its use in that way historically.
Well, it's
but
like the town close to where I grew up there with that name, and people wanted them to change it, and the people in that town said no.
We had it first, yeah. I mean, it's been used in other ways, but unfortunately, that's the first thing people think of these days.
Yeah.
Here's a referee card incident. Feedback surge. If opponent plays established gateway targeting a mission they did not seed, you score those points instead of opponent. Okay, so there's an anti-Borg card. Also, if your opponent discards any seed cards using Ajur Boratas senior staff meeting or their own dilemma, you may immediately reseed them under any missions. Opponent loses 10 points for each such card. So this helps counter strategies to circumvent your own dilemmas or whatever. So, any seed cards? Yeah. So,
why do they all
counter
say
strategy.
Voyager? Are they all from the Voyager?
At the top right,
yeah,
that's the set that it's inspired from. So these later sets do have cards that are from other places. Sometimes you saw that, especially with some of the previous sets we've opened. But the first set was all Star Trek: The Next Generation. First Contact was all cards from First Contact, the film. Here's a card from Alternate Universe. Again, it had Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Sorry.
Some of them had, the Deep Space Nine sets had Deep Space Nine. This is the second set that came out right after the Voyager box. So most of the cards are themed around that. There are a couple of exceptions, but not many in this set, to be honest. Security, where present, allows transporters to beam through opponents' shields. 8 of 18. So was the other one 8 of 18 that allowed me to beam through opponents' shields? Where is it? No, I didn't pull that one out. But it did have transporter skill, I remember that. Oh, here's another rare. The weak will perish. Dilemma can be either space or planet. During the brief telepathic connections, Kess learned the purpose of species 8472's invasion of the Delta Quadrant. As the Borg discovered, they were quite capable of carrying out their threats. Kills each personnel who has any printed attribute less than 5, and each non-unique Borg drone present. Immune to adapt and negate obstruction. So, it makes a mess of Borg drones and personnel with any sort of weakness in their stats. That's quite
I
nasty.
think I know where a lot of people that are usually here are.
Oh, we've got this was the rare. So this
Do
is
you want this loot?
sure.
There's
All the rares, please.
There's a lot of different people streaming tonight.
Fair enough.
So I think that's where everybody's going.
So we've got Angelo Tassoni. This is a mission specialist security. He's Federation or non-aligned. So again, might be I'm not sure if they did that for the commons, but you might get the same card with a blue border, making it a slightly rarer common variant if it is. But that's not a big deal with commons. It's rares that have that come up where it really affects the value. We've got Secure Station. This is non-unique, so you could have multiple. Hirogen Relay Station. Guard against violations of Hirogen property. So you need an Alpha Hirogen plus total weapons greater than opponent's total weapons here. Which, if there's no opponents there, that would be pretty easy. 30 points. Basically with an Alpha Hirogen. Not bad. Here's Photonic Energy Being. 3 crew members, random selection, are held with dilemma atop mission. Discard all when countdown expires. Cure with holographic personnel or anthropology and diplomacy. Okay. So it could be troublesome if you don't have a hologram, which a lot of decks don't. Most decks have diplomacy to some extent, and anthropology is a skill that a lot of people like to include as well. Who's this? Volrod. Okay, he's not that guy. Astrophysics, stellar cartography, science. Another Hirogen. Jetron. Medical security. Common. Alright. Kazon Olga, who maintains the settlement on the Okampa planet, has searched unsuccessfully for a way to penetrate the caretaker's subterranean shield. So that goes back to more themes from Voyager in its initial season there. Physics, geology, and exobiology. So just another tool for Kazon deck, and here's a Hirogen Talon again. So yeah, if you're looking to get into the Borg, like I say, First Contact is where they are introduced. This really seems to have refined them in some pretty interesting ways. I haven't updated my deck, obviously, but I may be looking into making just a straight Voyager deck, or maybe combining. I haven't decided yet, just to see how the Borg have changed here. Borg Probe. So this would be sort of like a scout ship. It needs 2.
A lot of these cards have like nicks at the bottom.
Yeah, some of the Decipher.
On the back.
Decipher's card quality was pretty hit and miss sometimes. Plus, this is an old set, obviously, printed in 2001, so they've been sitting in a warehouse for over 20 years. Sometimes stuff happens. May report with your crew to any Delta Quadrant location. Limit 3 cards aboard if you're Borg Queen in play. So you can report them along the Delta Quadrant pretty much anywhere you want. That's interesting. A little bit beefier than the scout ships. Sabotage negotiations. Planet dilemma. To get past requires 4 personnel. Random selection to attend conference. if their total integrity is less than 24. Each one without treachery times 2 is killed. Treachery is a skill not a lot of people like to have. In some decks it's popular, but treachery times 2 is a lot of treachery. Yeah, there aren't a lot of personnel that would be immune to this. Anyway, what do we got here? Here's another common. Interrupt, awaken. So is this just another straight up reprint? Awaken. Different art, obviously. Different set categorization. Downloads a blue or green drone or plays at the start of battle to download to one of your ships at that location one red drone. 2 if opponent initiated battle. Yep, word for word the same, this one. Just a different picture. Good to know. So far it seems like they made new drones that did the stat buffing ability.
Excuse me.
Here's Carr. He's a unique Hirogen, Alpha Hirogen, who captured Voyager in 2374. Used its holodeck to study his prey's history. Okay, so he set up the whole thing to look into the 20th century, apparently. Hoped lessons to save his own culture from stagnation and extinction. Or hoped for lessons. Okay, so it's a big star officer. Leadership times 2, diplomacy, honor, law, computer skill, anthropology, astrophysics. This guy is a skill beast for sure. 7, 8, 9 are pretty strong stats. Oh, here we go. Here's a rare Hirogen. 8 of 15. Medical exobiology. May download Borg nanoprobes in place of your normal card play.
Keep forgetting to be careful on that.
Well, again, he wasn't a Hirogen.
I know, but I'm just saying when
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Here's meditation. Plays on table. At any time you may discard one card from hand. For the rest of that turn, each time you draw a card, you may do so from the bottom of your draw deck. Interesting. Here's cranial transceiver implant. I think we looked at this one already. Quantum slipstream drive. Plays on your ship that has full range available, so you haven't moved yet, for free if USS Dauntless. Okay, so for free, being in an event that would usually take your deployment per turn, but not if it's a Dauntless. Move ship to the end of another space line. Okay, so you have separate space lines for different quadrants, or for things like Mirror Universe. So that could be a handy way to get from one place to another, from space line to space line in particular, or elsewhere on the same space line. So you can basically move it anywhere on any space, well, to the end of a different space line or anywhere on your space line. Ranges used, discard event.
Hey, Void.
Hi, Void.
No worries.
So that could be certainly a handy little card. Here we have, okay, he's a different one. One of the hunters serving with Carr.
Do you want to show Void your best card so far?
Diplomacy, honor, and leadership.
Oh, no worries, Void. We get it. Yeah, you want to show me your best
The
card?
World Series.
Baseball.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that it started. It shows how little I follow baseball.
Yeah, I remember. I don't even know where the Blue
Who's
Jays
in
are
that
right
this
now.
year?
Okay,
this icon here means this guy is a Maquis. So that was another thing they did in this set. Voyager had the main crew, but some of the main crew, if you recall, were from a group called the Maquis, a group of sort of rebel freedom fighters that Voyager was initially chasing when they got sucked into the Delta Quadrant. So he's one of those crew members who originally came from the Maquis. Dodgers are up against my boys. Oh, your home team, nice. And have 2 wins through 2. Ooh. Okay, well, we'll see if they can turn it around.
Sad face emoji.
Yeah.
There's a. Oh, you're looking for a sad face emoji?
Well, I hope they can turn it around for you anyway.
I
used to follow baseball a little bit.
I forgot.
But to be honest, after Montreal lost the Expos, my interest waned quite a bit.
Oh,
So
speaking about not a happy camper.
yeah.
You should see our camper.
Yeah, it needs some serious work.
Yeah.
So
Damage is twice as bad as we thought it was.
Rituals of the Hunt, another Hirogen hunting card.
You may well get them back. These legs don't even exist.
Who knows? I know that Quebec City has been trying to get back an NHL team for about a decade now,
no,
and they're having absolutely no luck with that.
We're keeping your monkey. I just really like the cheer command, so I go with that one first. No worries, Void. It's nice to have you here at all. Or for any amount of time.
Is the feedback surge
We're very
again?
tired today. We did keep your monkey.
8 of 15 again.
I just had to add another one for you. Because I
Established Gateway again.
I like that one. It was late and I
Here's
was giddy.
our rare Captain Chakotay, again of the Maquis.
Ooh, cool.
This is a nice one that I hadn't had before, so that's good. Officer, big star, 8s all along the stat line, so those are pretty solid stats. Leadership, navigation, anthropology, honor, and your other Maquis personnel here are all are attributes all +2. So nice inspirational leader for your Maquis. That is definitely a nice one to add to my collection. I don't have a lot of Maquis, but maybe one day I'll try and do something with him. Non-aligned means he's going to be easy to work with too. So, Objective, Assimilate Planet. This is another one I suspect is just a straight up reprint from First Contact. The icons and points all look the same. Plays on table, target an unassimilated non-homeworld planet. So this is specifying. Yeah, except the homeworld. Planet mission with box at least 35 points. Yeah, same condition. Your Borg may scout that planet. After scouting complete, if you have Borg at the same location, you may probe. Same 2 icons. Simulated place on planet. May download an objective card. Same points. Yeah, yeah. So again, tweaked wording, but same function. And again, this was from the 4th set that they ever printed for Star Trek, based around the movie First Contact. And this one is the 12th set that they had come out with several years later. So again, this was printed in 1997, and then the new version 4 years later in 2001 with just art from Voyager instead of First Contact. And then we've got 8 of 18 again. Ooh, Maturation Chamber. Functions: prepare neonatal drones for integration into the collective. Protect and accelerate development.
See, I didn't like that part. The babies.
Yeah.
That did not sit right with me, having baby Borg.
Yeah.
It was not cool. Even if it was just fake.
Once each turn, you may download to chamber 1 non-unique drone in place of 1 card draw, or report to chamber 1 non-unique drone for free. So definitely speeds up your process. Here's another quantum slipstream drive.
Oh, sorry, I'm forgetting to sleeve your stuff.
Here's the Transwarp Network Gateway. So again, another reprint, I'm fairly certain. Just compare quickly here. Baseline end, or play baseline location where you have a green drone present. Any player may play a Transwarp Conduit or other copy of this doorway to move any or all that player's ships from this to another. Download. Yep. Another functional reprint, just from the different series with different art.
I wish I had a nerdy retort about how different those two cards are, but I don't.
Yeah, well, some people prefer blue,
Did you
some
want to
people
show this
prefer
to Void
green.
really
That's
quick? Your best card that you got in the second pack?
yeah, second pack we opened, we pulled the ultra rare from this set, Reginald Barclay, who gives all your Federation Delta Quadrant missions you solve +5 points. So yeah, that's a pretty nice addition. He's not Delta Quadrant himself, which, you know, means you need to have something in the Alpha Quadrant, someplace to play him, but other than that, very nice. Null Space Catapult. Any crew may attempt this mission. Delta Quadrant, Engineer, Physics, and Diplomacy or Treachery. May relocate solving ship to any space line location. So that's kind of neat. Another thing that lets you move your ships around big time.
Void says that all our
And 8 to
Federation belong
15.
to us. As in,
All your ship are belong to us. Yeah, that's a quote from, I don't remember what it's from, but it was a famous quote from a cheesy sci-fi show of some sort way back in the day. So yeah, I started this episode out with a recapping of my Borg deck and the Borg as they were in First Contact. And now we're looking at, this is the second set that featured them heavily. And there's only 2 sets that featured them heavily
have,
in the whole run of the game.
somebody
So.
popping in here. Scott Trippy. This reminds me I need to finish my limited set. Have a good night, Indigo.
Nice.
Video game.
It's
in
a
the
fun
80s,
game
Zero
to
Wing
collect
is what,
or to play, honestly. Very good at having gameplay that emulated episode structure somewhat. So
Boy says this game from the 80s, Zero Wing.
okay. Yeah, I've heard the quote more than I know about anything else about that game, so. Connectivity drone. Computer skill engineer biology may download Borg vinculum here in place of a card draw and download Borg data node. Common drone. Not one that I remember. Here's a dilemma. Invasive procedure. Unless a red Borg or medical plus cunning greater than 35 and a phaser or disruptor present, place on ship. Quarantined. Each crew member loses first listed skill and is all attributes -2. So it'll hobble your crew if you don't have a phaser and medical and cunning greater than 35 or red security drone. That could be annoying for sure. Another common, Awaken. We've already looked at this. It's another functional reprint. And our rare. This is again another one of these the Borg kids. The Basati twins living under 7 of 9's guidance. Freed from the Borg in 2376 can still use their neural interfaces to share information and cheat at, I forget what that is. Is that a game? Anyway, one of them has youth exobiology and computer skill. The other has youth science and transporter skill. And there's their parallel stats as well. So, psychic twins. Yeah, well, I mean, they were psychic because they had the neural connection that they could interact with each other and possibly other former Borg drones as well. Telepathy? I'm pretty sure it was due to the neural links, but were they telepaths before they were assimilated as well? I don't recall that. Anyway.
Okay.
But that's our rare.
-2 all attributes. That's very useful. I played this in the 90s. Says Void with my friend we called Psycho Jim. Those were psychic twins, telepathy.
Okay.
And probably all Borgs, but I'm not a religious watcher.
Fair enough.
Scott Treby says I had a hard time finding people to play, so I just collected. The only game people were playing at the time was Magic.
Yeah, I knew a lot more people playing Magic than people playing this. It took us a while to get our own little group together that were playing. But so yeah, it did end up being just as much about collecting even then as it was playing, but I did enjoy playing from time to time. I started out by just building my first deck from mainly Premier and a little bit of alternate universe out of the common bin, with the odd uncommon for some cards that were strong enough. Inorganic genderless think tank member has a mind of a mathematician and the soul of an artist. Interviewed 7 of 9 to assess her worthiness as a recruit. Cunning 15. No strength, science, biology, stellar cartography, and computer skill times 2.
So
that's interesting.
Well, we're close-ish to Edmonton. It's a day trip for us. I'm not gonna say exactly where we are, but yes.
Yeah.
We're in Alberta.
Secure station.
It is close enough, before. Yeah. We were there twice on the weekend, so close enough.
This is all ones we've seen before. Von Red, Jertan, and yeah. Yoink, another pack. Yeah, I've had fun doing this little series on Star Trek. We started with Premiere. This is the 6th different set we've opened a box of.
Ryan has a question for you.
Enhanced First Contact. Do you have any card from
this set? From Enhanced
First Contact? I got 2 of the 4 Enhanced First Contact decks way back when they first came out. So yeah, I have the cards from the Gowron pack and the the Romulan guy. Tomalak of Borg. I have those two and the other cards that came with, including We Are the Borg, which was a popular one, I remember. And yeah, it would be fun to play sometime if you're in the area.
Maybe even if your brother's ever available or something like that.
Maybe.
You guys could meet up somewhere.
That could be interesting. The Players Committee or Players Continuing Committee? What do they call it in Star Trek? Anyway, they've got different zones to help people get together to play too. I think they call our zone up here in Alberta Rurapente, which is to parallel the Arctic wasteland penal colony that Kirk and McCoy get sent to in Star Trek 6. So there you go. We're up in the northern wastes up here.
Yeah.
Download Borg data node. Have I seen this one before? I think so. Objective. Reassimilate lost drone. So this is new. Seeds are placed on table. Target an opponent's non-Borg or non-Borg Borg. If you have the Borg Queen in play, you may probe.
The frozen Klingon penal colony, it's not that bad here.
Yeah, I know. Well, in the dead of winter, it can get close. I mean, -40 is not unheard of in the winters up here in northern, central Alberta. Anyway.
Ryan was wondering if you could have one of the clear cards. I don't know how they work.
Just wondering.
Clear card.
Oh, those things. I only know where one is off the top of my head. But they made cards that if you assimilate a character, you could put as a cover to turn it into like the Borg border frame. I've got one in one of the binders over there on the shelf. If you want to pull it out to look at. But I mean, I don't think I'm planning on getting rid of it, to tell you the truth. I like it just as a collector's oddity, to tell you the truth. Not that I've ever actually used it in game. Coercion. If your Borg ship is at the same location, target is abducted and relocated to that ship. Or blue. Collaboration. If abducted target is present with Borg Queen, place on target, assimilated, worth 5 points, while per dot, so skill, while objective on target, 10 points per dot if target is 1. Interesting. There's a new objective for 9 of 12 is a common network drone. So again, established gateway. Rare Hirogen Jorik.
I mean, some winters it might be that bad here. Not every winter.
Yeah, it depends. Exobiology, biology, computer skill times 2, treachery.
Oh. Although Edmonton seems to be a little bit different than us.
No, I was just wondering how it worked. Oh, okay. Well, basically, it's for if you assimilate a personnel, it's just a sleeve to stick in to make them look more like a drone. It gives them the one I have has the green icon, but they made one for each of the 4 drones, and they made one for a assimilate counterpart that had all 3 drone icons as well. I don't know if you want to.
I don't know where they are.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll grab it later if I get a chance. But cortical node implant plays on your Borg. If a blue Borg, once each turn, may transfer data if present with a Borg data node. Draw 1 card. May not be converted to a download. Also, each of your Borg with a cortical node implant may once every turn suspend to play regulate implants. Subtract 2 from any attribute and add 2 to any other attribute until end of turn. Interesting.
Oh, that one looks nasty.
Download Borg nanoprobes.
Probably just because the way the light is.
Meditation. There's the cranial transceiver implant again. There's another quantum slipstream drive. Takaric is this guy, not the other guy. And here's our...
Oh, I didn't put the card
guy
in.
again from the Maquis.
I forgot to put it in the sleeve.
Yeah, I think those clear ones are purely cosmetic. You don't have to have them to assimilate things. It just...
I can't imagine like the
makes it
makeup
look
that
neat.
some of those actors in Star Trek would have had to have gone through.
Like, some of the regular characters with heavy makeup
Yeah.
that had to do it every single episode.
Yeah, like Worf.
Here's negate obstruction again. Nullifies a dilemma. Except cumulative dilemma just encountered by your...
Did anyone else get the Fajo collection? Is that
Fajo collection? Yeah, I mean, I didn't way back then. Way back then, it seemed completely out of my reach. But I discovered last year how if you catch them on sale, it's easy to find individual cards, and there's a place I know where you can get the whole collection for, especially when it goes on sale, a semi-reasonable price. So I have a whole set complete in the little binder it comes in, and then I also picked up a couple singles for the ones I thought I'd use. Yeah, it was Hills Wholesale Gaming has them.
Yeah.
Anyway. Interrupt, adapt, modulate shields. Plays and remains on a phaser or disruptor, just used to stun or more. Yep, this looks like the same one that I had in my download pile.
Well, when we do order from Hills, we make sure it's just a good order, because shipping is kind of nuts.
Yeah, it is, especially up to Canada here. It's probably better if you're in the States.
Yeah.
Cortical node implant again. This should be my rare here. Yep. Ooh, yes. The Prometheus. So this is technically a rare plus, and it's a strong ship. It can be used by either the Federation or the Romulans. Prototype Starfleet vessel. Boasts a blade of armor, regenerative shielding, and multi-vector assault mode. Captured by Romulans during a test flight. 10 range is very sweet. 9/9 good stats overall. It does have usually for a big ship, 1 big star, 2 staffing, smaller stars. This one needs 2 command icons and 1 staffing. So it's a little bit harder to staff, but still very reasonable. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Made download multi-vector assault mode when in battle, and it has holodeck and tractor beam. So that's nice. And I wanted one of these for my Romulan deck just because I play a lot of Patrol Neutral Zone, which has a span of 5. So range 10 makes it much easier to get around those when there's, some of them side by side. So I'm very glad to pull one of these. Technically, I would prefer the Romulan bordered one to the Federation bordered one myself, just because I plan on playing it more with the Romulans. But I'm glad to have either because they play just exactly the same in a deck. And I believe last time I split a box of this with my brother once, and I think we opened this and he got the Romulan version. So maybe he'd be willing to swap with me. We'll have to see. But either way, I'm thrilled to get one. So
shouldn't it have 3 command stars, 1 for each of the bits of the ship during multi-victor assault mode?
I don't know. I don't know if they're all controlled completely independently and need their own separate crews, or if you can tie in and control them from the central
that ship is so cool when
bridge.
attacked, says Ryan.
I'll bet it is. I don't actually remember seeing the episode, or episodes, but from what I've heard of the design and seen of the design, it does look like a very interesting ship for sure, and I'm very glad to have one.
When you get excited for a good pull is very different from when I get excited. But I can tell that we're just as excited about how we react.
So there's 17
or no
of 18.
stars, since a hologram can command it alone.
Borg
Sorry, did you hear that or read the last one?
Sorry? Well, okay, yeah. I mean, there are some weird things that happen in the story sometimes, too.
Yeah.
So your blue Borg present, all your Borg, if your blue Borg present, all your Borg at this location present with a blue Borg share regular skills. Has every such skill at the highest level. Okay, so instead of having the interlink drone, where did I put that we had in First Contact, they moved its ability onto this piece of equipment. That is interesting. Okay, so they still can share the skills. You just need to use equipment to do it instead of a personnel. Huh. I'm not sure what I think of that. It seems like it just makes it a bit more complicated to do. But there might be some other advantages to it too. But yeah, that's definitely a difference for sure. Dilemma, the clown beneath the mask. To get past, one personnel must have a total attributes greater than 23. So that means an average of 8s across the board, basically, to get past. The clown was most interested in the minds of those who had truly known fear or could appreciate what he represented. He was a most unreasonable when dealing with anyone less.
That's creepy.
That could be quite annoying.
See, I used to like those masks. Like stuff like
there
that.
There are some very strong personnel,
ones,
and people like to play strong personnel.
The clown stopped by today, actually. Nice. That one's creepy.
Activate subcommands. This is another one that I was waiting to see.
Ugh.
It's common.
I don't know why I find this one so creepy.
So this looks like, again, same title, just it's Voyager.
The comedy drama
art.
masks? No, the masks that I'm thinking of are like there used to be. I guess it was 90s. The ones that people used to collect, the pretty ones.
Yeah, this is just a straight up reprint.
Scott Tribby says a bad episode, but I love the actor.
So again, very useful card when building a Borg deck, at least in my experience. So they just ported it over. It seems like for the drones, I haven't seen any repeat straight up drones. They came up with tweaked drones to do the different stat boosts and most of the other effects. But in terms of the support cards, the interrupts, the outposts, the doorways, the objectives, the events, all that stuff, they look like those are all straight up the same.
Okay,
but it's just new drones. And we've got Narrow Escape. Plays on your staffed, undocked ship if its shields are less than half of opponent's total usable weapons here. You may immediately move ship up to its total range. So this gives you an extra move to escape an overwhelming force, basically. That could be useful. And there's another protocol.
Did we get a rare one?
Yeah, that was our Prometheus.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, yeah, I am happy with this box, even if we don't pull anything else worthy of note. Jacote, I was glad to see, because I've never seen it before. And the top two cards I was hoping to pull, the ultra rare Barkley and the Prometheus. We got them both. So that's three very solid hits that I'm very happy with.
Extra move like the V-Star card that lets you take a card from your deck, question mark. Or Steel Stone.
Not an extra move as in an extra action generally, but specifically extra movement. So you've got, when you play this game, you've got a number of missions forming a space line, and where your ship is relative to opponents' ships and things plays into strategy for, whether you can work on your missions without being interfered with, or sometimes attacking strategies where your opponent will actually try and destroy your ship and your crew on board it. So being able to move things around, yeah, that's a handy skill to have quickly. So here's my rare. It's another Maquis, non-unique. It's a second Chakotay.
Ooh.
That is interesting. I was hoping it might be Bailana or one of the other former Maquis, but hey, Chakotay's good, so now I've got an extra. So that's interesting.
Yegi?
Yegi. There's a couple of Ferengi who've found their way. Avaricious Ferengi plotted with Gegis and Nunk to extract 3.6 million Borg nanoprobes from 7 of 9's body and sell them at 6 bars of latinum per unit. So you can download Borg nanoprobes if present with any Borg personnel.
Boy says, let's go
Read
Yegi.
biology, cybernetics, and treachery.
I actually really like the Ferengi. They're fun.
They are interesting characters. When they were first introduced in the Next Generation, they were supposed to be the big antagonist.
Spelling incorrect? What's incorrect?
I'm not sure. Looks like he spelled Yegi right, if that's what he meant.
I don't
know. Oh, here's another guy in a uniform, but at least he doesn't have the big symbol behind him. Reckless hunter who, tired of participating in holographic scenarios aboard commandeered Voyager, joined Turjan in hunting party against express orders
Yankees,
of Car.
Yegi wasn't a great fun. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That one.
Belthun. Here's another one of the what are they called? The ones who are affected by the phage. Representative of maintenance workers assigned to every 3 prisoners. Yeah. They're a sad group. Here's a Kazon fighter. Uncommon, has no transporters. May be reported for free aboard your Kazon Raider if no ships aboard, and can download Blue Alert.
Maybe it'll make it for a really good comeback and exciting, like
Jetan.
from behind.
It might.
Series.
Oh, there's the artificial intelligence again. And an incident Hirogen hunt again.
I fought a Kazon once, said Void.
In what context, I wonder?
We never did get Lucas or Thomas any costumes.
No, I mean, he can make up something if he really wants to. We've got various things around.
They do have like a s'mores costume.
Allows to beam through opponent's
It's
shields.
supposed to be like a couple's
There's
costume.
the nitration chamber again. Quantum slipstream again. Here's our rare replicator accident. That sounds nasty.
It does sound nasty.
Ship is damaged and entire crew is killed unless engineer, physics, and cunning greater than 30 present. Discard dilemma. Sometimes it's easy to overlook physics. That can sometimes catch you off guard. People usually try and have engineers around, and a decent-sized crew will have cunning greater than 30, but physics might catch you off guard, depending. So that's our rare there. Rengen, navigation ×2 in physics. Yegi again. Devar again. This guy again. Kazon fighter again. There's Jatan. And there's the hunting party.
If we get this year's crown, I'm going on the silliest rage ever seen for me. Safety measures in place.
So there's... Is it the Equinox that's in this, or is it...
I don't
There's
know.
a couple... There's another ship that's dual affiliation in here, which is also fairly sought after because of its rarity. I don't think it's quite as strong as the Prometheus. And there's also the Equinox Doctor, the holographic Doctor from Voyager. There was a version of it aboard the Equinox as well, except he had a very different life, so he turned sort of tricky and evil. So I'd be interested to pull one of him too if we can.
2 of 12.
2 of 12. If presence, where probing for a simulate planet once each turn made a... Yeah, we've seen this guy before. Eliminate starship. So I'm sure this is the same as the other one.
I'm just gonna steal the charge card from this.
Definitely different art and stuff on there as well. I don't have one handy, so to compare, but there's the network gateway. Ooh. I see cunning 12 on a rare.
Okay.
Here's the Borg Queen.
Okay, here, I just need...
So, this one is one that I remember for sure they made some changes to. So here's the old Borg Queen. Here's the new Borg Queen. Again, different art, different actress, different source. Same stats. So originally, the flavor text, I am the beginning, the end, the one who is many. I am the Borg. I am the collective. This one is, we all originated from lesser species. I myself come from species 125. But that is irrelevant now. We are Borg. Our thoughts are one order, one voice. The stat line is the same, 6, 12, 6. So, let's look at the ability here. So, when reported, select any skill, may change skill at the start of each turn. When reported, select any skill, may change skill at the start of each turn. That part is the same. On the first contact version, may download a change of plans or a Borg drone in place of a card draw. So you can go get whatever drone you want or change of plans. This one may download any Borg event or interrupt card in place of your normal card draw. So this one can't get drones. It can go get events or interrupts, and there are events and interrupts, the activate subcommands or the awaken, which can go get drones.
Apparently Boyd realized something.
So
this is like when I try to show baseball card collectors. They get it, but still. This is like when I try to show baseball card collectors Pokemon. They get it, but still.
Okay. Yeah. So there's definite difference there as to how they work, but they will have a very similar effect for sure on that second ability. That's interesting. Anyhow, probably the new one is a little bit more generally useful at a guess. But, yeah, very strong. Always nice to have another Borg Queen as an option for deck building, for sure.
Excuse me, oh my goodness.
And here's Nunk again.
I think I only really like this because it's
17 of 18. Yeah, I mean, the Borg and the Vidians, which is a random alien race, this set, if you're looking for, the big bridge crew people from the Federation, it's not the best set to find that stuff in. But,
can you imagine if they
if you're looking to play the game and want to try playing the Borg, this is,
can you imagine...
the easiest set to get a hold of that will certainly give you all the pieces you can use to build a deck
So
with
I have
anyway.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's a hypothetical. Can you imagine if they'd ever assimilated Q?
See, that would be interesting, but the Borg technology-based assimilation is very physical, whereas Q seems to transcend physicality and what he can do. So I don't know how would work.
Can you imagine?
The one that I shared before that I think would be really freaky is if they assimilated the Tribbles.
Yeah, that would be creepy too, but I think that with the power of the Q and the Borg, that would be freaky.
Where prisoner implant cards may pay for free and may be reabsorbed, placed beneath draw deck if discarded. Cybernetics, which can be tricky to find, but makes sense for the Borg for sure. And medical.
Like maybe there'd be something that the
Borg nanoprobes.
the Q would be like weak to, and they could weaken their power so they can't use it, and then they assimilate Q, and then oop,
Maybe.
it's an idea. Just saying.
Borg Q could show up anywhere, and yeah, that would be very
That would
difficult to stop.
That would be like, I think, an alternate universe type of story. I think.
I expect so. Where present may abduct and assimilate one personnel just stunned by your red drone, or nullify a species 8472 related dilemma, except gravimetric distortion. Interesting.
I guess one way that they could solve that problem though is if like the Q
Assimilate planet.
council or
Again,
whatever
looked at
took
this
the
as-
powers
Oh,
away.
we got a Federation.
Right?
Oh, I know who this is. This is the special symbol for staffing that they came out with in First Contact. It wasn't used barely anywhere else. And here they came out with an alternate version of Deanna Troi.
Ooh, I like
So
that.
that's about.
There he is, Alias. The prodigal son has returned.
So they were
How are
tricky to
you
use.
doing tonight?
The only ship
Oh,
that
no
used
worries.
this staffing
No
icon
worries.
was the First Contact Enterprise E.
Nice to see you, bud.
So that's the only ship that she could staff with that icon usually, except they added this skill. All your personnel with that icon add
No.
a command icon.
No.
So that makes them usable for your other ships, which is great. Unfortunately, I think the Troi version that was in First Contact is actually stronger.
No.
Her other ability is stronger.
Okay.
So I think that's the one I would use first, but it's great to have the option.
Ooh, Deanna.
So she's got diplomacy, empathy, and anthropology. Half Betazoid, half human, counselor of the USS Enterprise E, and Reginald Barclay. After years of friendship, is once again romantically involved with William T. Riker. Isn't that nice? Anyway, so there's
Deanna's
Deanna.
probably one of my favorites.
There's Devar again. Mabus. Treachery ×2 diplomacy security. Once per game may kill one mage present. Trabe governor constantly plotting vengeance on the Kazon sects that killed his parents. Continues a cycle of hatred and persecution between their peoples. There's Carmock. Security computer skill. Kronrik. Officer engineer. Maintenance overhaul. Uninhabited planet. Any away team may attempt. Delta Quadrant. Landed ship plus engineer plus computer skill. When you solve, you may download divert power.
See you later, Alias.
That's
Thanks for
interesting.
popping in.
Yeah, thanks for coming. And we've got, again, a Herogen outpost and Herogen personnel.
That one kind of reminds me of Bane from like the
Little
Batman.
hunter
Yeah, this
masks, environmental masks, so
Yeah.
they can go into...
one. I missed trying to get that. I don't even know how it's
Oh,
gonna work.
there's the clown again.
Oh, creepy. Put it away. Hide it. Under the bottom of the
And
pile. All the way to the
activate
bottom.
sub-commands.
Way in there. Thank you.
Useful. 9 of 15.
I'm not scared of clowns, but there's like some when they make
Huh.
them creepy, you know?
If you have completed Harness Particle 101, all your Borg in play are each attributes all +2. That is pretty strong if you've done that particular objective. So you'll have to keep an eye out for that, see if it's worthwhile later. And then, ooh, we got a Tactical Borg Cube as our rare. So the regular Borg cubes, I didn't have one out. Actually, we haven't even pulled one, have we?
Nope.
They're an uncommon, so I'm sure we'll see one. But there are 24 shields, 24 weapons. Range, was it 7 or 8? Where are they? Range 8. So this one is a little slower, but beefier on the weapons and shields.
Those are nasty ships.
It does not need a blue drone, interestingly, just green and red drones. You still need 7 total drones to staff it. It's worth 50 points instead of 45 if you can destroy it, because it's tougher. Your equipment and Borg personnel may report aboard for free once each turn, if a red personnel, and it's got tractor beam.
It's
So if your
reflecting
red
badly.
drones deploy free to it. Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest ships with the base shields in Premiere was the Husnock ship, and it had 12 base shields. 12 is just enough to not be destroyed outright by a standard Borg ship or Borg cube with 24 weapons. 28 weapons is more than double, which is enough to outright destroy it, not just damage it. So, yeah, these are big, nasty threat Borg cubes. And, yeah, I'd not complaining at all about having... I had one from our previous opening, so glad to pick up a second. Here's Pachan again. Where are we? Adapt, negate, obstruction. 2 of 12. We've seen these all before.
The idea of the Borg always creeps me out.
Yeah, they are one of the creepier groups. Nunk again.
Trying not to get... I mean, I guess just with society in general today, it's kind of like... People have that idea. Get in line or...
Well, But... people have been looking at integrating computer technology so that it can interface directly with the human mind, so we can use thoughts.
That scares me.
Oh, yeah. People like to look at the possibilities, but the possibilities could go bad as well as good. So...
I mean, even pacemakers, I understand the technology.
Here's our regular Borg cube, the version from here.
But it does kind of scare me that something could be controlled.
So yeah, this is basically identical to the one from First Contact. So there's a direct comparison from the tactical Borg cube to the standard Borg cube. I do like the art better on the First Contact one than the Voyager standard Borg cube. I thought they looked better. I'll just grab one here quickly.
That was definitely better.
Which one you think?
This one.
Oh, you like this one best? Better than the First Contact one?
Well, better than this one.
Okay. Better than the tactical one.
Because this is
I was just comparing these two.
I remember this kind of Borg cube more than like one that looks like it's got panels on the sides.
Right.
So.
Anyway. Again,
I don't know. I don't really have a preference.
Good to have Borg cubes. And there's another one of these. Here we have a rare Diligent Alpha Hirogen, another Hirogen, commander of a hunting vessel that stalked a member of species 8472, has an unrivaled understanding of the behavior of prey. Leadership, treachery, anthropology ×2, navigation, exobiology, and can download Hirogen Disruptor Rifle. Not great on integrity, but Cunning 9, Strength 9 is nice.
So far, what was your favorite pull?
My favorite pull?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough. We've had some good pulls. Yeah. I would say just most direct hoped for was the Prometheus. But Barclay is real close.
I like Deanna because I love Deanna.
Yeah, Deanna's nice too, for sure. She might be in the top 5.
I loved her and Riker. Like, I mean, okay, yes, I watched them when I was in high school, late elementary school,
maintenance overhaul, and a Hirogen outpost. So I've seen all these before.
I liked their interaction together.
They could be. They were always like right through the whole series. There was very few times when it looked like, even though they had history right from the opener, that they ever really looked like they were going to end up together. But in the end, they did have them do that eventually. But it just took them forever.
I I haven't really watched the Picard series that much, but did they end up making them split up in that series?
I don't recall.
'Cause
I
they
don't
were
think so. I thought they were still together, but I could be
Yeah, but
wrong.
I thought I saw that.
I didn't watch
I don't
all
know.
of Picard.
I just watched the first.
I lost interest after they killed off Picard.
Yeah.
So
Gonna head to bed, but if you're in
7 of
Edmonton and want to
18.
play, please reach out. It would be great.
It could be fun to try sometime. Oh, here's 4
Probably
of
have
9.
to be a day if you're going to spend with your brother or something like that, and then maybe
Yeah.
meet up.
We've got a big family, so it's not
Yeah.
often that we get away from the kids. And I haven't taught the kids to play this game much. I tried Thomas. We've played a couple of games just with Premiere. So we may try that again, but
our trips in are usually meant for like a shopping trip or
so there's our rare.
or something.
Once per turn, may place one drone present beneath draw deck. Then
There's
download
still
another.
there's still a couple even at the okay. I thought I heard something that I don't know. But
That's is that no, it's not.
A lot of shows like to just split people up, and it's like, can we just have somebody that should stay together? And I think there are a couple that should stay together, in my opinion. I know it's fiction, so there's gonna be people watching this and listening to this. It's like, there's just fiction. I'm like, yeah, but still.
Star Trek has very few like married characters, period.
Yeah.
So that's another whole thing that you know.
I read a lot of fiction growing up, so to me, like, I mean, I know the
Borg data node. I haven't seen this one yet. If present with a blue Borg, once each turn may download 1 adapt cards to hand, or glance for 10 seconds at crew of any one ship or top card of opponent's deck. That's kind of cool.
I forgot to put that one in a sleeve.
Our 4th card here looks like another rare Hirogen. Belligerent Beta Hirogen clashed with Declan, Natak, and Catherine Janeway during the hologram hunt. Finally came to respect the Voyager crew as worthy prey. Computer skill, navigation, biology, transporter skill, astrophysics. Not an Alpha Hirogen. There you go. There's another one of these. Weapons. Volrod. Incident. Relics of the Chase. I don't think we've seen this one yet. Seeds are placed on table once per battle. Your Hirogen may capture an opposing personnel he just stunned. Also, once each turn, your Hirogen using a Hirogen Talon may place in point area one personnel he just killed in personnel battle. If he is an Alpha Hirogen, one captive he is escorting. Right. Score points equal to that personnel's highest printed attribute. There's the secure station again. 10R. Archaeology, biology, anthropology, science for the Kazon. Establish settlement. Federation or Klingon in the Delta Quadrant. Help Klingon pioneers begin a new empire on this world very much like Kronos. Takes diplomacy, anthropology, and honor. Or Muriel Paris. Discard up to 5 Delta Quadrant Klingons for +5 each for points. Interesting. So for the Klingons, this could be worth quite a chunk of points. But you have to discard a lot of your personnel. Interesting. I have to remember that one. And this guy we've seen before. I'd like to see some more familiar faces other than Chakotay. We did get 7 of 9, and we did get Troy. But yeah, this set is not the best for that, as I've said before, because it's very Borg and Hirogen heavy, so that's just sort of the nature of the set. What do we have here? Fennin? Rare. One of only 2 humanoid members of the think tank. Instrumental in the mercenary group's discovery of a cure for the Viridian phage. Medical ×2, exobiology, anthropology. Your Viridians are immune to the phage. That's kind of cool. Integrity 4, Cunning 10, Strength 6. Interesting.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm really tired.
Dilemma. Okay, we've seen that one before. Interrupt, Awaken, yeah. Borg Outpost. Feedback. Yeah, this one's we've all seen. Alright, we're getting down to the last third or so of the box. You can see the box.
We still have one stack on the left.
Most of a stack. I think I pulled one pack out of there, and there's one pack still in the middle, so. Assimilate planet. Assimilate starship. Activate subcommands. Our rare is a Hirogen ship. Venic class. Venic Hunter. Large ship. Shunned by most hunters. There is a blind spot in its engine's ion wake, and its heavy armaments reduce the challenge of the hunt. Natek commanded one. Or Nitek? Anyway. 9, 10, 12. That is very strong stats overall, for sure. I said 12 was the same as a Husnuk ship, except the Husnuk ship only had 6 range and 9 weapons, so it is strong. It's got a holodeck and a tractor beam. Big ship stats for staffing, a command and 2 staff. That is a pretty strong ship overall, I would say, for the Hirogens. There's Tigareth. Officer, Engineer, Leadership, Geology, Navigation. Pretty good stats. We've seen him before, though. Volrond. We've seen that. Tenor. Yep, these are all familiar. All right. There's Pachan again. 7 down 6. Adapt negative destruction. 2 of 12. Ooh, Marika. This is one of the rares that's dual affiliation. I don't. Okay. So this is a former drone, apparently. This is interesting. I don't remember this person. Bajoran assimilated as a Borg while on the USS Excalibur. Became 3 of 9. Okay. So we had 3 of 9 earlier, didn't we, as a rare? That was one of our... Yes. So we had 3 of 9. And now we have 3 of 9 freed. So the stats are the same. Engineer. Astrophysics. Stellar cartography. Once each turn, may place in hand from beneath draw. May place 1 card from hand beneath draw deck and then draw a card. Still got the green, but now also a staffing icon. When reported, may download Lassen and Pichan if not in play. Discard at end of turn if Lancer and Pichan not in play. Okay, so this is the one that I was missing. Because I think I had those two. I know I had Pichan anyway. I might have had Lancer in the previous box. I don't remember him here. But that is interesting. Okay. I'm going to have to check if they've got a non-aligned bordered version as well. This might be a card that's worth a couple bucks because of that. I suspect that's the case. Not one of the huge chase cards in the set, but one that's worth something anyway. And there's Borg Outpost, Incident, and 18 or 19. Alright, we're into our final stack here.
Oh, my goodness. Alright.
Excuse me.
I'm a little bit hungry.
Yeah. It's been one of those weeks, unfortunately. Invasive procedures again. Awaken again. Borg Outpost are rare. Oh, wow. double Prometheus. Didn't get the other border, but still, there's a Federation Prometheus. So
Nice.
I'm very pleased with that. Like I said, it's a very strong ship. It is one of the more valuable cards in the set.
Cool.
Again, because it's a strong ship, it's got the 2 different possible borders.
Graduation?
And
What does graduation mean?
I think it's congratulation, just with a typo.
Okay.
So
it
yes,
could have been autocorrect too, because it does that to me sometimes.
that is looking nice as far as that goes. I mean,
This is a good box.
getting more things I didn't have would be nice too. But if you're gonna get a double, that's a great one to get a double of. There's the slipstream.
The creepy baby Borg. I almost think of like baby Borgs, kind of like baby zombies, but different. If that makes sense. They're just both creepy.
So yeah, the distribution of things in Decipher's products can be a little bit strange, and this is proving that once again. So that's our second double rare in this box.
I think I'd want to say,
ooh, here's the USS Dauntless. And again, this is a fairly good pull in terms of its value, because it's one of these double icon rare pluses. May be fully staffed by Artrius holodeck and can download quantum slipstream drive. Range 10, again, nice range. Independent or Federation. Weapons 7, shields 8, so not quite as strong as the Prometheus, but still nice. Unique ship constructed and commanded by Arcturus. Equipped with an operational quantum slipstream drive. Designed to appear as an experimental Starfleet vessel. Interesting. So it's meant to blend in with Federation ships, but it's not actually one. But it, again, it's got the icon, so it can function as that. So that's good. I didn't have one of these at all, so there you go. And probably the non-aligned one is the more fitting to get based on that flavor text. These are, there's another Borg cube.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's good. Still haven't got the Doctor from the Equinox. The Equinox ship itself, I think, was in Voyager set. So this one back here, potentially. Again, it's a rare, and I think it might be another dual affiliation ship. So, yeah. The dual affiliations thing, they first introduced it in Alternate Universe, but they didn't have both borders available. And so that only came in the later sets.
Get rid of this one.
And it, here, there's the quantum slipstream drive again.
The poor little baby Borg.
Yeah. We got an objective. Harness particle 101. So this is objective we've seen before. Plays on table, or we've heard referenced before. Rare. Target omega particle, download if needed. It is immune to Kevin Uxbridge. At your mission, not yet scouted. Your Borg may scout that location after scouting, if complete. Your staffed Borg cube there, you may probe. If you're staffed, you may probe. So, you see that icon from the Borg Queen, an incident or an objective, perfection achieved, place on location, discard particle, doubles point boxes of your subsequently completed Borg objectives.
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty sweet. Tricky to do, though. So there's 11 of 18. Those, there's established gateway, another 15, another Borg cube. Now the Borg cubes are showing up. That was a very Borg heavy pack. No Herodians to worry about. But yeah, that's the other main thing I think I like. I'm trying to remember if there was a B'Elanna Torres in this set as a Maquis as well. I'd like to pull that. I'd also like to pull the Equinox Doctor. Those are two more rares that I would like to see come out of this. But honestly, we've already had the best pulls that I could hope for. So, but those two are good ones that I haven't seen yet that I'd still love if they showed up. Simulate planets, Borg nanoprobes, 18. Here's our rare. It is another Dauntless. Interesting.
Wow.
Doubling up on both those ships. That is, but again, same border on both copies of both ships. Interesting.
So, good box?
It was a good box, no matter what, at this point. But yeah, a lot of doubles for some reason.
Maybe it's all the ones that should have been mixed in with the other boxes that you guys opened and they didn't make it in there.
Who knows? The last box we opened had none of the Maquis. We were hoping to get some more of the rare Maquis. And like I said, this one has had double Chakotay, but none of the other rare ones. There aren't a lot of them, but there were a few, I think. And then again, that Equinox Doctor is another one with double affiliations. I think it's also non-aligned or Federation, something like that. So, here's a Borg Cube again. We got another rare Hirogen. Massive Alpha Hirogen. In command of a solitary hunting vessel. Less interested in the hunt than the spoils of his conquests. Envy of his peers and fear of his captives. So Big Star Officer, Exobiology, Archaeology, Greed, Engineer, Treachery, and can download Hirogen Talent. Strength 12. There we go. Idrin. That's our third Alpha Hirogen in this box.
Then what's...
That's a Borg outpost.
Oh, okay.
We've got 6 of 12. It's familiar. Omega Particle again. Cranial Transceiver. Simulate Planet. Simulate Starship. And activate subcommands. So again, quite Borg heavy pack. We've got 4 packs left. And those two rares that I mentioned I would love to see. I'm still hoping. But this has been a pretty good box. I did get some of the other, like the other box. There's the 5 Borg. Like there's one that's, I think 3 and 4 share a card, but there's just 1, 2, and 5, and then 3 and 4. So like the 4. I got all of those in the previous one we opened. So I haven't seen any of those there. So from that point of view, we haven't been doubling up all the same stuff, which is nice. But, oh, we got a rare Kazon. Big Star Officer, Leadership, Treachery, Diplomacy, Security, Astrophysics, Skill Beast. First Mage of the Kazon Monstral has shyly arranged many brief but effective alliances with other Mages against larger sects. Commands a Kazon Raider.
Can you imagine if you pulled another Ultra Rare?
That would be crazy. I've never seen 2 Ultra Rares come out of the same box. I wouldn't surprise me at all if it's known to happen, but I've never seen it myself. Last Port Drone. Interestingly, the only doubles we have pulled have all been like, it's the 2 big ships and it's Chakotay. So they're all like good, solid pulls. Every double that we have had. So no complaints about that as far as the quality of the doubles.
I forgot I have scratch tickets in my purse.
Assimilate Starship. And another activate subcommands. Another 11 of 18. We have Liberty. Interesting. Maquis ship commanded by Captain Chakotay. So, Captain's orders. This ship will get a bonus. in 2371, 30-year-old vessel with a 39-year-old engine that has been rebuilt and modified many times over. Antares class. So, only takes one Maquis to pilot it. Your Maquis personnel may report aboard and may be your seed at Caretaker's Array, interestingly enough.
New ship?
Yeah. Rare. 866. Not wonderful stats, but, you know, it's Chakotay's ship. It's the ship that, went through with Voyager, I guess, before they combined the crews. So
Okay.
that's kind of cool. Here's a recently lost drone. Borg probe. There's that dilemma. Awaken again. 17 of 18 is the range +2 guy. And the last port drone. 2 packs left.
You're gonna
Last
go
2.
through this pile when you're done, just
Briefly, and hit some of the highlights. But again, still hoping. I got 2 packs left. There's 2 more cards I'd like to see for rares for sure. So let's see if we can do that. We got the Maquis ship, and we've got Captain Chakotay. Can we get someone else to go with him? Like I said, or the Equinox Doctor would be nice. There's an Omega Particle. Simulate Planet. Here's our rare. It's Federation. 104 star. Federation or, okay, it's Cheb. Alright. So this is another one of the Borg rescued from the collective and his, well, I was, again, hoping Economics Doctor, but, which could be Federation on a line. Borg rescued from the collective and his own people, the Burundi. Protege of 7 of 9 is taking Starfleet Academy's core classes through Voyager's senior staff. So again, this was one of the rescued Borg drones. Engineer, astrophysics, physics, youth, stellar cartography, biology. Pretty good amount of skills there. That's interesting. Illuminate Starship, we've seen before. There's another one of the transport network gateways. Adapt, negate obstruction. Adapt, modulate shields. Cortical node implant. Yep.
Last pack?
Last pack. Come on, let's finish with a bang. Last pack magic.
That would be awesome.
I mean, from some senses, it's sort of downhill after you start with pack 2 being the ultra rare.
Yeah.
But it's been a good box overall, no doubt about that.
Open.
Yeah, they're all annoying that way. Unless you want them to just rip them open, then they're easier to open. So that's mostly what I've been doing. Not really worried about saving wrappers this time around. The last poor drone. Got a Borg outpost. Our rare looks like Borg. 5th. So okay, yeah. So it was 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So this is the ones I mentioned before. I already have this guy.
So yes, a disappointment.
A little bit disappointing, but you know.
But the box has been good.
Youth, computer skill, biology, security. Once each turn may return to hand one of your Borg incident, event, or objective cards in play. So that could certainly be useful. These are rare. There's 2 of 12. That's an objective. So yeah, a little shy on what I was hoping for the Maquis. I already had the Borg covered fairly well from before, so we got a couple more to flush them out. Yeah, thankfully, we only ran into 2 of the suspicious guy. So a little shy on the Maquis. Didn't get the Equinox Doctor, but nice nice grip. So there's the Liberty. So that'll go with Chakotay. We got the Dauntless. So we did well. We definitely did well on ships. No question about that. Liberty, the Dauntless. Our double of the Dauntless. the Prometheus. There's Marika, 3 of 9. We got the big Vidian ship. Nice stats on that one, too. Finnegan, 4 of 9. Couple alphas. There's a tactical Borg cube. If we're talking about strong ships, that's definitely a strong ship too in its way. At least good to have as an option. We got Deanna Troi. We got the Borg Queen for personnel. We got Chakotay. There's our second Prometheus. So that's very nice. We got Jorik. These were, is this, did it say which? Anyway, there's the ultra rare Reginald Barclay. Definitely a big hit. There's our double of Chakotay, who will go nicely with the Liberty over here. This was definitely a good box, I would say. I still probably don't have enough Maquis to actually make a Maquis themed deck or major theme, but I have a couple of previous ones. Oh, there's 7 of 9 as a Borg, so slide her in here with the Borg Queen. Some interesting dilemmas to add to my decks as well. So yeah, that was the rares. And again, we got some strong general ships there. The Maquis ship that went through with Voyager back before he became Federation crew. So there's Chakotay, the captain. And doubles of both the Dauntless and the Prometheus. I mean, couldn't hope for much better in regard to ship pulls than that. The only thing I would technically prefer is if they'd had the different borders, but that's nitpicking because, like I said, they play exactly the same. So, and if I can find someone to swap with, that works too. And the ultra rare Reginald Barclay. Delta Quadrant Federation missions you solve are +5 points. Amazing. Great to see. We got Deanna Troi. The Borg Queen. Again, always useful to have extra copies. 7 of 9. And, yeah, again, a double the Chakotay. So, I've definitely got enough Ks on Vidian Herogens to work with to build a deck on that theme now if I want to. And yeah, definitely nice solid pulls, nice solid box. A few main character personnel, but not a ton. But this set is not really, that's not really what you're going for in my experience. This set is if you want to play Borg or if you want to play the Vidians, this is the set to get them in. And it's still regular, you know, it's not the cheapest set you can get. It's a little more expensive than Tribbles. It's definitely a little more expensive than Premier, but it's less than it was when it first was released. It's less than MSRP from back in the day. A box of this goes, a whole booster box for about $50 US, give or take. And yeah, honestly, with the pulls I've got, I'd say I definitely cleared my money's worth out of that. So that's cool. I'll have to take a look and see how many I'm missing. Maybe it'd be worth trying to trade or fill in some holes if I want to build a deck with Maquis or something. But honestly, I think I've got a good start for
maybe we should do is
building either.
Is instead of doing a giveaway tonight, just kind of like build a I think you have something from the last box you opened somewhere. We gotta find where we put it. Just have like a surprise mixed bundle from all of them at the end of the Voyager box or something.
Maybe. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing next. It won't be next week. I'm working nights next week. But sometime after that, I'm going to open up a box of Star Trek Voyager. This one is a little bit pricier again. You'd pay more than double you would for a box of the Borg for a box of Voyager. It's a bigger set, so you're not as likely to get any given rare, just because the card pool is a lot bigger and you're still opening the same number of packs. But you've got all the main characters from Voyager's possibilities to open there. Chakotay and B'Elanna and their Federation roles, Captain Janeway, Tom Paris, the Doctor, what am I thinking? Neelix and Tuvok and 7 of 9. Yeah, there's the Voyager. Kazon, there's Neelix. There's Kess. Oh yeah, and this was the ultra rare in this one, if we get lucky enough to pull it. The Tendori, something like that, champion. Just a one-off character from one episode, but he was played by The Rock, who became an even more famous actor after he'd already had a wrestling career at this point. So that's an interesting cameo that was in the show that they turned into the ultra rare for the Voyager base set, basically. So if we get lucky, that might be in here. But I'm hoping for some of these other crew members. A lot of them I don't really have any versions of. There is a version of Tuvok from the motion picture, which I have. And First Contact had a Doctor on the Enterprise E, but it's not the Doctor from Voyager. So I've got the medical EMH from the Enterprise E, is about the closest I have to him. I do have the 7 of 9 that I pulled here. I'd had her before as well. So there's that. And now I have Chakotay in his Maquis form, but not his Federation form. So I'd like to get Janeway. I'd like to get B'Elanna. Actually, all the ones I don't have would be interesting, to be sure. But I'm going to be very interested in cracking open this. Like I said, it's the one that's about closest to what MSRP would have been way back in the day. So I've never opened it before. I had pretty much stopped collecting this at the time because of other things I was doing. But yeah, I've been very happy with this box, and thanks for joining. I guess that pretty much
flip it really quick?
sums it up. Could do.
So they can see you. Oh, wait, we're a little high. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun opening these Star Trek boxes. And like I said, we're not quite done yet. And I might revisit Premiere or Tribbles or something else after, because those are good sets that I always have fun with. And the value proposition is pretty strong on them too. Honestly, while I did say the Borg costs a little bit more than Tribbles does, it definitely has more cards in it that are worth, worth pulling, like maybe $10 value cards or more. Than you'll find in Tribbles. Tribbles has a few cards that are worth sort of in that $5 range, and then it's got the one big ultra rare Dr. McCoy that's probably worth about $70 or something. So worth the price of 2 boxes if you open one. But the Borg, like I said, yeah, it's got more cards. These dual affiliation ships. And Reginald Barclay, they're probably each worth, I don't know, 20, somewhere between 20 and 30s to something of dollars. So those were all good hits. We did very well on those. Some of the other characters, especially the ones with the 2 different versions, are worth something too. But yeah. If you're ever interested in building Borg, I'd say this is the easiest set to approach it with. If you want to get some from sealed instead of buying singles, you can still buy singles too. That can be more effective in some ways. First Contact packs are getting hard to find. That's the main problem there. And most of the mechanics and stuff, yeah, they've carried over here. You might want to pick up specific drones from First Contact for certain strategies, but yeah, most of what you could do with those drones, they've just rearranged and gotten different ways here. So you still should be able to work quite well with them. I'll probably keep, if I do another Borg deck, I'll probably keep them separate and just see sort of how they compare. But you could, there's nothing stopping you that I'm aware of from just integrating it all together and just using the best of each. So you can do that too. The hunter's mechanic and stuff, I've never tried it. It seems tricky. I was talking to my brother a bit about that. Just because most of the things you'd want to hunt are probably going to be in a different quadrant, so you still have to have, get all your stuff together and find a way to get after your prey, which could be chasing around from quadrant to quadrant. So there are ways to do that, but it's not necessarily the easiest. It's just an extra hurdle. Yeah, and then there's a few things to add to other decks, but I do like this set. I think it's interesting, and I'm honestly, again, very happy with this box. I couldn't have really asked for better. There was a few things, like I said, I was hoping for that we didn't get, but the stuff we did get was so good. I'm
It's a good box.
Not too worried about that. It was a very good box, definitely in that regard. So I know some of these will be going straight to decks for me, especially good old Prometheus here. I can find use for some of the others too. I'll hold off on Barclay because that's definitely before I attempt to build a Federation deck for the Delta Quadrant. I'm gonna want to see what I get in that Voyager box because that's, I think, the main set for Delta Quadrant Federation is Voyager. So that will determine what I can feel, whether I feel I'm up to attempting that as a theme. But this is new ground for me.
Or favorite top two cards?
Favorite top two cards that I pulled. Again, it's the two big ones that I was hoping for. So the Prometheus, which I've been wanting for a while for one of my decks. Very strong ship.
Sorry, did you get two of those?
Romulan or Federation. Yes.
Yeah.
And I got a double of it. And the ultra rare Reginald Barclay. Those are definitely my top two that I was most excited to pull by far. But I got to get a lot of other really good stuff. I was glad to get both Captain Chakotay and his ship. Another Borg Queen, very nice. Getting the other Troy again with that symbol. Very handy for people trying to staff up an Enterprise E and also have their people be useful for other ships. Yeah, there's some good stuff here. I haven't really considered much the Dauntless, but I guess it could even help perhaps too in one of my decks. I'm gonna have to take a closer look. But yeah, it looks like a decent ship as well, just with the range 10 and being able to download the quantum slipstream device. So definitely very maneuverable, quick to get around, and that's handy. And it can be used as an online ship or a Federation ship. So pretty versatile in that sense too. Perhaps more versatile than the Prometheus, which is just Romulan and Federation. So I'll definitely have to look into that.
So future streams coming up.
Future streams coming up. Again, I'm working night shifts next week. So I don't particularly have a plan for next Saturday.
Monday, you're going to be...
On Monday, we're going to try the Magic the Gathering 1993 deck building. So only cards that were printed in 1993 to build a 40-card deck out of my binder. And then challenge to play against me. So we'll find someone in the stream, or maybe the stream people as a whole, to select cards to build a 40-card deck out of my binder, cards that were printed in 1993. So that's alpha, beta, unlimited cards, plus Arabian Nights, perhaps, if we're looking for a few more options. And then I will build out of the remaining stuff another deck to play against whatever they selected, and we'll try playing against each other and see if chat or some specific person from chat, if we go that route, can beat me. And we might have prizes if they can. I haven't decided quite on that,
That'll be fun.
but it's an idea. So we'll see how that goes.
And
the Voyager, it'll be probably a couple weeks before we get to opening the
Yeah.
box of Voyager on another Saturday night stream like this. So
And then Thursday is Halloween.
Thursday is
taking the day
Halloween.
off?
I do have the day off to go trick-or-treating with the kids, but that may affect our timing and
Well, we're still. I
what's
think we'll do
available to do a
the 1 p.m. Mountain Time stream. We'll do a bit of something.
well, maybe. Again, it's in the middle of a set of nights, so I might need to take a nap at some point. But we can maybe work around it and figure something out.
Or well, I mean, we could always do after
Um,
trick or treating, but I think it would be.
But yeah, we'll do
better
some
to
sort
do
of
it.
Pokemon stream on Thursdays like we usually do. Did you have a plan for that one, or
Well, see, I don't know. We got a few
we
things
got
that
some
we could
options?
open. I did get a Twilight Masquerade booster box. We could do, but could we do that? Get that done in 2 hours? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a lot of cards.
That is.
We could always do part of it, or just
Yeah.
But
And if we, I want the Eevee. I know the Greninja is a high card, but I want the Eevee.
Yeah.
So, but with Pokemon, being sad about Pokemon. Next Saturday we'll have to figure something out that's not that I can do, because I want to keep our streams regular.
Yeah, I know. But I don't particularly have an idea. In the past, you've done Lorcana.
Yeah.
That might be an option.
Or we could just do an afternoon stream.
Or we could
with kids or something. And then
the kids might enjoy getting in on something. Maybe do a. Well, I had the idea for doing an Animal Crossing stream where we do.
Oh yeah.
I show my town out, and we have the Animal Crossing while we're building an Animal Crossing Lego set. But I don't know.
Well, we could just let somebody stream a game.
Well, maybe, but we don't have a capture.
We'll have to play the Switch.
It would have to be the Switch and tabletop mode in the foreground while we're building Lego behind, or something like that. If we were, but anyway, it's all ideas at this point.
Yeah.
Ways to try to make things a little bit more interesting rather than just sitting us building away with the Legos.
But, okay, with that said about the Pokemon part, though, I think we are going to end it. But if you guys stick around, I'm going to send you to a Pokemon person that we totally love. I'm going to send it to Broly.
Okay.
Because I don't get to raid him that much. We don't have to say raid. You can just say love from Spokat, or Spokat sent me, or whatever.
Yeah.
But here's the link. He's doing a stream.
We don't have a whole lot of people we know who are on topic for Star Trek, unfortunately.
No, but
and most of the people I can think of are people who are doing reactions to the show, which is a very different type of thing anyway.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us, for everybody who came out, and I hope you enjoyed seeing my luck with this box, because this was a wild box in some respects. So
yeah, please go over to Broly's stream and just drop a like and say hi. And if you haven't already, please like our stream. We appreciate
it. With Halloween and everything going on. So
yeah,
I hope you all are doing well and getting rest where you can, and that you all have a great week, and we'll see you from time to time when we can.
I'm peeking in the corner.
Enjoy, live long and prosper, and I hope you all have a great night.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you all. And please, if you can, go check out Broly's stream. You don't have to stay if you don't want to, but just say hi.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with some better giveaways and stuff for the finale when we open that Voyager.
Yeah, we gotta try and make sure that we have lots of people participating, though, because
we'll try. We'll try and make sure it's.
We'll hype it up. Maybe we'll make a lot of videos.
I've always been a big fan of Star Trek, and I like collecting cards, so this goes well for me. But I recognize it's not everybody's cup of tea, and we've got some more ideas once we wrap up this series for other.
Somebody got the
things we might get
Mewtwo, the Mewtwo V-Star from Crown Zenith on Broly's stream.
Oh, nice!
And they are putting it up to risk it, so they could lose it if somebody gets a better card.
Okay.
Oh, anyways,
interesting.
So.
He does things differently on his streams.
I love Broly. He makes me happy. He's a very joyful person, and he's got a kind heart. So we enjoy him. Yeah. So, and he likes to help out a lot of people. So with their streams and trying to get people out there to just kind of shout them out. And yeah, Broly's awesome. Please go check him out if you like Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, thanks for joining us. I'm just going to grab a few of the sort of highlights to show off again as we go out. We got some nice recognizable characters. And some nice solid ships. Pulled some really good cards this time around. So glad for all of these. I'm going to try and find uses for them. I've already got a plan in mind for Prometheus, but these are really strong options too that I'm going to have to see where I can apply them. So the Dauntless.
So yeah, I guess that's it.
I guess so.
That's our night.
Thanks again for joining us, and we really appreciate the support. It's nice just to have people to chat with as we're opening, and to share things that we enjoy. So that's mainly what we're doing this for, and we hope that you enjoy it too.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It sure has been.
So, thank you, everybody.
Enjoy some of our chaos. It's not always coherent, like the labels that Lucas likes to put on things, but
our shelf over there is a little messy.
Yeah, and thanks for people who've sent us posters and things to help decorate the area, but we haven't quite figured out.
Those I won from Roche Pokedex.
Yeah.
So those were nice. But I hope you all have a great night. Please go check out Broly if you have a chance. And
we'll
hope
see
you have
next
a great
time.
week and hope to see you soon.
If you're interested in some classic Magic the Gathering, it'll be interesting to see how this works with these little 40 card deck duels with old stuff. So come and check that out if you're interested on Monday night.
It'll be 9 Mountain time.
Yeah.
Or 11 Eastern. So bye for now, everybody.
Bye for now. Have a good night.
Cheers. See you soon. I don't think you